All right, let's get into it. We're breaking down one of the biggest journeys high schooler ever takes, getting ready for college. I know, it can feel like a lot, with so many different things to keep track of, but don't you worry. We're going to give you the roadmap to navigate the whole thing, step by step. Okay, let's just start with probably the single most important piece of advice you're going to hear. It's from college counselor Coach Joe, who says this is a marathon, not a sprint. This whole thing isn't about some panicked last-minute cram session your senior year. It's really about making steady, smart progress all 4 years. So just take a deep breath. You've got this. So, our marathon kicks off right here with Section 1, Building Your Profile. Think of this as the foundation for your entire application. It starts on day one of high school, and it's all about your grades, the classes you take, and what you do outside of class. Now, when it comes to your classes, admissions officers are really looking for balance. On the one hand, yeah, they want to see that you've challenged yourself with some tough courses, your AP, IB, or honors classes, but they also want to see your personality come through. And that's where electives come in. Things like art or coding or another language, that's your chance to show them what you're passionate about. It's that mix that really tells a compelling story about who you are. Okay, beyond the classroom, let's talk extracurriculars. And here's a secret. Depth, not breadth. Seriously, colleges would much rather see you commit to just one or two activities for a few years, maybe even taking on a leadership role, than see a giant list of clubs you just dipped into. And you know what really stands out? A passion project, something you start yourself. Pro tip, keep a running document of every single award and honor. You will thank yourself for this later, I promise. Next up, let's tackle a topic that I know can cause a ton of anxiety: standardized tests. We're talking about the ACT and the SAT. But trust me, if you have a clear plan, you can navigate this whole thing without all the stress. Here is a super simple, really effective timeline. Junior year is your big testing year. You can start with the PSAT in the fall. It's amazing practice, and it could even qualify you for scholarships. Then plan on taking your first official ACT or SAT in the spring. That gives you a baseline score and leaves you the fall of your senior year for one last shot if you want to bump it up. Spacing it out like this just makes it so much more manageable. Now, you've probably heard that a lot of colleges are test optional these days. And while you might not need a score to get in, here's a little inside scoop. A good score can still be a huge advantage. In some states, for example, a high score on the ACT or SAT can unlock extra scholarship money. So even if it's optional for getting in, a strong score can still literally pay off. So we've built the profile and we've tackled the tests. Now we're in Section 3, pulling it all together into an application that really shines. This is where all your hard work turns into the story that you tell to colleges. At its core, the process is pretty straightforward. You'll narrow down your list of schools, you'll gather up all your materials, your transcripts, scores, essays, all that stuff. And then you'll check everything, like 3 times before you hit submit. The real key here is just organization and paying super close attention to the deadlines for each school. A simple calendar on your phone can be your absolute best friend. Okay, here's one part of the application that a lot of students just overlook until it's too late: the letter of recommendation. And admissions counselor Elise Pam has some killer advice here. Do not wait until senior year. Think about teachers you really connect with early on. Actually participate in their class, go to their office hours. A teacher who knows you well can write a powerful, personal letter that makes you totally stand out from the crowd. And when it's time to ask, be a pro about it. Give your teachers plenty of notice. At least 2 weeks is the standard. Make their job way easier by giving them a brag sheet, basically a resume that reminds them of all the cool stuff you've done. And then, and this is non-negotiable, always follow up with a real, sincere thank you note. It's a small thing that makes a huge difference. You're also going to see there are a few different ways to apply. Regular admission is the one most people use. Rolling admission just means colleges review applications as they get them. Early action lets you apply and hear back early, but you don't have to commit. Now, the one you really need to understand is early decision. It's binding. That means if you get in, you have to go. You should only use this if you have a crystal clear #1 absolute dream school. Okay, Let's move on to our final section, and it's a big one, paying for it all. Look, understanding the money side of things is a critical part of the college plan for every family, and just knowing the facts is the first step to making it affordable. So, let's talk numbers. The cost of attendance isn't just tuition, it's everything: room, board, books, the works. This chart, for example, uses costs in Kentucky to show you the average annual sticker prices. And yeah, those numbers can be a little jarring. But, and this is so important, remember, this is just the sticker price. Very, very few people actually pay this full amount. So, financial aid is how you close that gap between the sticker price and what you actually end up paying. Aid comes from a few different places. You've got federal grants, like the Pell Grant for students from lower-income families, and grants from your state, too. Plus, you can earn merit-based scholarships just for having good grades. Each one of these pieces just chips away at that big number, making college way more accessible. If you remember one single date from this entire explainer, make it this one, October 1st. That is the day the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, opens. This one form is your key to unlocking most federal, state, and even some school-based financial aid. You want to get it in as early as you can because some of that aid is first come, first served. So we've covered the what and the how. But this whole marathon of getting ready for college, it really all comes down to one person, you. The process ends right where it begins, with you asking yourself the big questions. What do I want to do? What kind of education do I actually need to get there, and what school is the absolute best fit for me? Your answers to those questions, that's the compass for this entire exciting journey. Good luck.